times mark. So basically around a month ago, I did a video talking about the melodic minor scale and why everybody seems to use it and like it that much. For a scale that has melodic on the name, it doesn't really sound that melodic, right? And once you take a look at it the way I suggested to, I think it starts to make a little bit more sense. And in that video, a subscriber, Bradley Stroup, who is a really active subscriber, thanks again for the support, left a comment saying, can you do a similar lesson for the harmonic major scale and Hungarian major and minor scales? By the way, for those who don't know, this is the 4th episode of my YAIT series, You Ask, I Teach. I know it's a pretty boring, generic, and self-explanatory title, but whereas the name implies, I pretty much teach anything you guys leave in the comment section below. And if you have some sort of question you'd like me to answer or talk about, all you have to do, like Bradley, is to leave a comment down below with the hashtag YAIT with whatever you want me to talk about. If you haven't watched any of the other episodes, I highly suggest you do. We've taken a look at chord substitutions for the 12-bar blues, on fusion-ish, pentatonic soloing, kind of Guthrie Govan style, explaining the modes, and getting back to Bradley's question, asking me to talk about the harmonic major, Hungarian major, and minor scales. Once again, thank you for the comment, but you're mentioning 3 different scales. And if I did a video talking about all of those 3 scales, this video would be really long. And there was something interesting in the comment you left, because at first I was just thinking, okay, I'll just do a video on the harmonic major scale. I talked about a regular major scale, the melodic minor, and the harmonic minor scale in the other video, so I'm only really missing the harmonic major scale. I could add the Hungarian minor scale into this, but the Hungarian minor scale is my absolute favorite scale, and because I use it for everything, soloing, composing and whatever, I think on my part it deserves a video on its own. But then I read the comment again, and I read Hungarian major, and I was like, wait, there's a Hungarian major scale? I've never heard of it. So I went online and tried to look about the Hungarian major scale. And it's not like there's no info on it, but it's a scale that nobody seems to talk much about. And after I figured out what that scale was about, I can understand why. So since there are only a couple of YouTube videos on it, and only one of it is meant for guitar, I thought on this video I'd give a little brief mention to the harmonic major scale, but I'd focus about mostly on the Hungarian major scale, because I think that many of you, probably like me, never heard about the Hungarian major scale. Probably about the Hungarian minor maybe, but not really about the Hungarian major scale. And there are a couple of interesting things you can do with that scale, that some of you will be able to instantly pick up, and while others might struggle a little bit more, trust me, your bluesy licks will never sound the same. But before we get into it, I just want to say, please subscribe to my channel. You're probably aware that YouTube's been acting a little bit weird lately. Even if you subscribe to the channel, those channel's videos may really not show up in our subscription box. And even if you ring the little notification bell thingy below, you still really will not be notified of that channel's content. So if you want to stay tuned to my content, or the content of your favorite creators, you really should subscribe and turn on all the notifications. And since that may or may not work, I highly suggest you follow me on social media. Not only do I post some exclusive stuff there, like improvised solos and jamming over backing tracks, and generally whatever I'm up to at the moment, but I always post there about my videos. Links for the usual suspects will be below, like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but in general at Marketing Guitar. Oh, and since you're down there, please consider leaving a like, and perhaps share this video on social media. I'd highly appreciate it. And yeah, I guess we can get straight into it. Okay, so again, just a little brief mention about the harmonic major scale. Basically what makes a scale a harmonic scale, and again there are other factors to this, but basically what makes it a harmonic scale is, let's say that we're in the key of C, is having a natural 7th and a minor 6th. Again, watch the other video if you haven't, but basically, this is our regular minor scale. And our harmonic minor scale is basically the same scale, but we take the minor 7th out and replace it with a natural 7th. This way we have this jump right here. And we took a look at its purpose in the other video, and we saw that by having our major scale, one of the reasons that scale sounded good is because it had a major 4 chord and a major 5 chord. When we had our minor scale, we had a minor 4 chord and a minor 5 chord. If we replaced the minor scale by the harmonic minor scale, we'd have a minor scale with a minor 4 chord, but with a major 5 chord, having that pre-resolution. And if instead of having the harmonic minor scale, if we had the melodic minor scale, which is our major scale but with a minor 3rd, or in this position, we'd have a minor scale, but with a major 4 chord, and a major 5 chord. And it's not like that's a mandatory thing for a scale to sound good, but it gives some cool resolutions. Well, if we apply this same sort of thought process to the harmonic major scale, this is the harmonic major scale, which is, again, our regular major scale. But we substitute our major sixth by a minor sixth, getting that jump. And what's the purpose of this scale? Well, you've probably heard songs like this. For those who didn't pay close attention, I played the chords C major, A minor, F major, and F minor. And all of those chords are in our regular key of C major. Except the F minor chord. The F major chord has the notes F, C, and A. All of those notes are in the key of C major. F, C, and A. But when we take a look at our F minor chord, the F minor chord has the notes F, C, and A flat. And the note A flat isn't in our C major scale, but is in our harmonic major scale. So what's the purpose of this scale, the harmonic major scale? Is to have a major sounding scale with a major 5 chord, but with a minor 4 chord. That's again the basic gist of it. There's more to talk about this scale, but there's tons of other videos that you can check out on this from some other YouTubers that do a better job than I do. The only thing I'll say more about this sort of scale is that even though it's still a major scale, it still has a major third and a perfect fifth. Because it has that minor sixth, it gives an interesting space for that augmented style of playing. So that's something that you can experiment on a little bit, and the next time you have a song with a chord progression like this one, now you know that when that F minor chord comes in, you can employ some of these harmonic major vibes. Now we can get to that interesting stuff. Again, there's a little bit of debate about the Hungarian major scale for a bunch of reasons, and let me tell you, I'm not really a connoisseur on Hungarian music, but it doesn't really sound Hungarian sounding. I didn't really research why they're called Hungarian, maybe I should, I don't know. But if we take a look at this Hungarian major scale, I can tell right now, it's a little bit weird when you first look at it. It's sort of like a Lydian dominant scale. If you don't know what a Lydian scale is, it's when you take your major scale and you sharpen the 4th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, you sharpen that note, and you get a Lydian scale. If you want to make that scale dominant, all you need to do is replace the natural 7th with a minor or dominant 7th. So you'd get this scale. And this Lydian dominant scale is actually a mode of the melodic minor scale. And even though some of you will not recognize it, you probably recognize the sound of this Lydian dominant scale from something like... Again, that's the theme song from The Simpsons, and it's a melody around this Lydian dominant tonality. And our Hungarian major scale is pretty much that Lydian dominant scale, but we sharpen the 2nd note. If we sharpen the 2nd note, this is the 2nd note at D, if we sharpen it to a D sharp, we'll get something like... If we take a look at it like we did with the melodic minor scale and harmonic major scales, this suddenly becomes a scale on a major tonality with a sharp 4th diminished chord and an augmented 5 chord. and trust me, there are resolutions in here. But they're a little bit weird sounding, and unlike the other ones, for instance when I played you the harmonic major scale and I played you this chord progression, you were instantly able to recognize that chord progression. But when it comes to this scale, I can probably count the number of you that will probably have heard this chord progression. It really isn't as common, but now you know that when you hear this chord progression, you can sort of use this scale. You can also use this scale if for some reason you hear a chord progression like. And in theory you could also use it if you have a chord progression like. But in this situation we're kind of moving into finding hidden chords in the scale, which I have to do a video on that. I'll do it eventually. But yeah, just like with the harmonic major scale, where I said you can make some sort of augmented licks. This Hungarian major scale sort of gives you room to play some of those diminished licks. Something really cool about Lydian-ish scales is this sort of lick, which sounds a little bit dreamy and exotic if you're just playing over a C major scale and you bust out this lick. It gives an interesting sound, and with this scale you can sort of move this lick on minor thirds. And at least to me it sounds really cool. I really like these sorts of parallel licks and parallel chords. And as you can probably tell, it's a little bit weird. And this position, at least to me, isn't the most comfortable one. The most comfortable one would be something like. But if you play a lot of blues licks, you've probably played something like. And because we didn't really play the fourth, this, even though it's around the major blues scale, forget about the second, aka that D note. Suddenly, this Hungarian major scale doesn't really sound as weird. The only thing that may make it sound weird is that sharp fourth. And to be honest, when I first looked at that scale, I was like, who the hell thought this was a good idea? But if you add it to your blues licks just as a color note, it suddenly doesn't sound that weird. The sharp fourth just sounds a little bit posh, a little bit fancy. But yeah, honestly, even with these weird scales that sometimes are a little bit harder to use, there's tons of things I can talk about this scale. I didn't really talk much about its modes nor anything about it. I really suggest you take a look at this scale and maybe try to transpose some of your own licks to this scale. If you're not sure of how to do that, I've made a couple of videos on that you can check out right there. I can probably guess this video is already really long, so why don't we stop here, at least for now. If you want to learn more about the Hungarian major scale, perhaps leave a comment, and don't worry, I'll eventually do a video about the Hungarian minor scale. And hey, if you've stayed this far, why not play a little bit around with this scale, film yourself playing it, and post it on Instagram. If you tag me on it, not only will I see it, but I'll repost it and tag you on it. I'd really like to see what you guys can make with this sort of scale. But yeah, enough with the rambling, let's just get to the outro. Thank you so very much for watching, I hope this video was helpful to you in any way possible, and if it was, please leave me a comment below. Do you have anything to add to this discussion? Did you agree? Did you not agree? Was there something I missed? Something I should have said? Also, as I mentioned in the beginning, this is my YAIT series where you can leave suggestions for videos. Just type them in the comment section below with the hashtag YAIT. Please check out the other episodes of this series. And I also do some other videos, again, talking about either a scale or a specific music theory related concept and explaining it so that many of you guys can use it. I also do some other videos, sometimes talking about technique, or sometimes taking a look at a specific lick from a guitar player that I either think is interesting or a little bit different from what they usually play, like learning odd time signatures by using anime, or even Eric Johnston's mistakes sound good. So yeah, there's a little bit of a back catalog that you can check out. But yeah, I think that's it. Again, thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on all the notifications, follow me on social media, perhaps share this video on there, and yeah, cheers!